Hello, everyone. My name is Munyarazi Mzenda, but you can call me Munya. I'm from Zimbabwe and I'm in my second year of chemical engineering. I'm privileged to be talking to Callum, who is a fifth year chemical engineering student, as well as Dr. Norbert Radacsi, who is a lecturer in chemical engineering. So this afternoon, we are just going to talk about exams because obviously maybe people do not know what to expect, especially second years. We haven't had the chance to write online exams. So I'll just start with you, Norbert. In terms of the exams this year, what do we have to expect as second year students? We haven't had the opportunity to write online exams. How is the structure of the exam going to be different from the usual diets that we have been having? And also, in terms of preparing the exam for you, how was the experience? Is it better in normal times, or yeah, how was it for you? Maybe Norbert, if you would want to share.
Okay, so thank you for the excellent questions, Munya, and hello everyone. So it's this year it will be a 24-hour take-home exam, and what you can expect is that it will be exactly different from the previous year's exams, and basically what we academics are doing when we set the exam is that we are trying to make a bit more open-ended questions. So we are trying to check more the mastery. So we want to make sure that the students can analyze or explain, for instance, measure data, or we are trying really to see if you have a problem that you have never seen before, if you can solve it simply by putting together the knowledge from the different bits of the course. And basically it will be a bit different, but I think it's also better than the previous types of exams, because here we are not going to test your memorization, because of course you can just look it up. So we are not going to test anything you can just Google. But I think it's more close to what in your real work life you might expect, that we are asking you questions where you really have to use your brain, you really have to use what you have learned, and it will be focusing more on what you have put together and what your understanding is of on the topic. So I think it will be a bit more challenging for some, but overall it should be a good experience and it shouldn't be harder. Also, don't forget that we have 24 hours. You shouldn't use all the 24 hours, so please try to get some sleep as well. But it's also meaning that you will have more time to really think about a good answer. If you think later in year 4, you will have design project. It's similar. So you have a problem and you need to solve that problem, and you just need to use everything you have learned, and you need to think beyond what you have learned. So I think from my advice, try to see the big picture and make sure that you have a good understanding of the topic. If you just manage to memorize the contents, it won't be enough. You really need to master the topic and you need to know how to apply the principles you have learned during the course on solving problems. So that's from my side.
I think from what you're saying, it's quite clear about the structure of the exam. So I think you have mentioned it's clear that the exam will be a bit more challenging than the usual diets that we used to have, but with good preparation of the content that you would have studied, you will be fine. So I think that's quite clear. I think I've heard some students asking about printing out the exam and all that. Maybe you're given a graph that you have to work on. How is it going to be in terms of maybe printing out, scanning the documents that you'll be having?
We expect when we set the exams that, of course, it's impossible that all the students of the university have a printer at home. So we won't make any exam questions where you need to print out a graph in order to analyze. So we take it into account, and you shouldn't worry about this. You don't need to have a printer. Of course, we might ask you to make a sketch of something, but there is no need for a printer or a scanner for you to have at home.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of students who had questions concerning the exams. And maybe, Callum, just going to you. You are now in your 5th year of chemical engineering, and obviously you have been taking exams for the past 4 years. So maybe any advice on maybe preparation of exams for students who are maybe in fear or something like that, who are worried about exams. So from your experience, maybe if you can share any advice to students who may be in need of help at this point. So Callum, yeah. I'll give this time to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say that it's less pressure on you when you have a 24-hour exam, and it shouldn't be feared more than a normal exam. Your preparation is slightly different because you're focusing on understanding stuff rather than just memorizing it and knowledge. So you need to really understand what you're learning and not just memorizing equations like it sometimes normally might appear to be. I would also say make good notes, like summary notes, so that you know where to find stuff. So in an exam, if a question comes up, you know exactly where to find it, and you're not flicking through a textbook or going through the lecture notes. And then that'll really help you get sorted in. It's supposed to be done in 2 hours if it's a 2-hour exam, and you won't spend all day on it, and that'll just help do that sort of thing.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Callum. So from what you're saying, I'm getting that preparation is key, and making sure that you actually understand the information that you're getting from the lecture materials, and not only just memorizing, but making sure that you understand everything and you actually know what you're doing, and also having a good summary of the lecture material, so that you know if you want to refer to something, you can get it easily. Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sure it's going to be really helpful to students. So I don't know if you have any last words, maybe Norbert, if you have any last words that you want to share before.
Just a few last words is that really, as Callum mentioned, you don't need to be afraid of it, and actually try to think about it as this is closer to the real world experience. So when you are going to work in industry or academia or a research institute in a few years from now, you are not supposed to just solve the problems by memorization. So I think it's on the long run, it's useful. And this is actually probably even better for training you for the future. So really don't be afraid of this, and just try to prepare with the best of your knowledge and focus on the understanding, and try to use all the resources. And if you don't understand something, just ask the lecturer or the tutor for the course, and make sure that you understand all the details.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing those words, and thank you for your time. I am sure your information and the experience that you have shared will be helpful to the students. Thank you so much.
Good luck with the exams, everyone, and bye.
Okay. Bye.